On Newsbeat, the Pope is shaking up the rules of marriage.
Upset about Saturday's game? You're not the only one.
Also, the new plus-minus system might not be as bad as you think.
Stay tuned, Tigers. Newsbeat starts now.
Good evening, Tigers, and welcome to Newsbeat. I'm Spencer Lachelet.
And I'm Michaela Morgan. Thanks for joining us. The LSU Athletic Department has announced that all fans that purchase a ticket through the LSU Athletic Ticket Office will receive a full refund for Saturday's game. Fans who purchase their ticket using a credit card will receive their refund by September 30th. Those who used any other method of payment will receive a refund check in the mail by October 15th, except for game cash purchasers who will have until 5 p.m. on September 30th to contact the ticket office about their refund.
Well, not every LSU student left Death Valley on Saturday disappointed. Reporter Michaela Morgan found out what freshmen thought about their first almost game.
Cheering on LSU football is something most incoming freshmen look forward to.
Definitely a stress reliever. You know, it kind of takes your mind off of classes and studying and working and all that.
But Saturday's game against McNeese wasn't exactly the first home game
and when we got in the
students had in
stadium,
mind.
I was really hopeful, but then it started raining, and I was still hopeful. Then it started raining some more, so then we just gave up and we left.
Even with the game cancellation, many freshmen say that their Saturday night in Death Valley was still just as memorable.
It didn't rain at that time because at least we had some fun and not the whole experience got ruined. So
yeah, it's definitely a big, different atmospheres. So many people, being in the student section, all the chants.
This game day was something different that I haven't experienced before. I'm used to high school. This was totally different.
And though a game wasn't actually played in Death Valley, many agree that they still would consider Saturday another win for the Tigers.
Even though we got rained on, still a win.
Yeah, it was definitely a win because I got to, feel the Tiger spirit, and I got to see the Tiger spirit and see how many people actually come out here to support the game.
All the expectations that I set for LSU, they raised the bar, so it was a good experience, definitely.
For Tiger TV, I'm Michaela Mark.
While students still had a good time this past Saturday, missing the first game of the season could be problematic for the Tigers. Saturday night was the first outright cancellation of an LSU football game since 1918. Torrential rainstorms and frequent lightning strikes led the LSU athletic department to cancel the game against McNeese after 5 minutes of play in the first quarter. There is currently no makeup date planned for the game. Today, at his weekly Lunch with Les press conference, Coach Miles spoke about the effect that he thinks this cancellation will have on his team as they face Mississippi State this week.
We did everything that we could to play, and the challenge to our football team is to improve without that game.
The Tigers will face Mississippi State this weekend at Mississippi State.
LSU's first home away game is this weekend at Mississippi State, and if you haven't gotten your tickets, student government might be able to help you out. Students can be a part of the crowd by attending away game bus trips. Student government offers the bus trips to all students, and the prices for the tickets differ for each game. Students must purchase the tickets separately from their home game tickets, and you can find out more details by visiting lsusports.net.
I've always gotten the emails, but I never actually went to any student away games with student council or anything like that. It always seemed like a really good deal. You get obviously your meals, the bus ride itself, your ticket. You get to go to the game with a bunch of your friends. It always seemed like a really awesome time.
To get in on the action, be sure to check your email so you can watch the Tigers at any of their away games this season. The Tigers will face the Bulldogs at 8:15 p.m.
According to AAA, gas prices have hit a new low. Prices at the pump have been falling ever since June. The average price of regular gasoline is now $2.40 per gallon. That is more than $1 less than the price of a gallon a year ago. The last time Labor Day weekend gas prices were this low was in 2004, or in other words, the last time gas prices were this low was when George W. Bush was in his first term as president.
Coming up after the break, professors are using the plus-minus system on their own terms.
And the FAFSA application might be getting a facelift.
Stay tuned, Tigers. We'll be right back. Pope Francis is making more changes to the Catholic faith. Specifically, he's updating the annulment process for Catholic marriages. The Pope will announce that there will be 3 major changes to the rules. Couples no longer have to be reviewed by a cleric before their marriage can be nullified. Bishops can now issue the annulments themselves under certain situations, including spousal abuse or affairs. An annulment will be free with the exception of administrative costs. The new rules are a part of the Pope's Year of Mercy.
The Faculty Senate is taking a stance on the firing of a tenured colleague. The Faculty Senate met last week to decide whether or not to formally censure F. King Alexander for firing tenured teacher Teresa Buchanan. Buchanan was accused of creating a, quote, hostile learning environment and let go on June 19th. Members at the meeting described the firing of Buchanan as sleazy and disgusting. But President of the Faculty Senate, Kevin Cope, thinks that there are more basic issues that need to be addressed.
This is an issue of job security of all kinds. It is what happened to Professor Buchanan could, whether it was right or wrong, happen to anybody from the most modest instructor all the way up to the distinguished chaired professor. That's what's at issue here, is what it takes to dismiss somebody. Whether or not that person occupies any particular position is another question.
The Faculty Senate voted to establish an investigation committee to look further into the issue before voting to censure the president.
Professors may not be too happy about the plus-minus system. Jackie Massey looked into how professors are making the system work for their classes.
Teachers, don't worry. You have more control over the plus-minus grading scale than you think. LSU Vice President for Academic Planning, T. Gilmore Reeves, says this plus-minus chart is only a hypothetical example for teachers.
Whether you want to make the pluses and minuses narrow bands or wider bands, within whatever range of scores you use, that's up to you.
Instructors are allowed to ignore this chart and set their own scale, as long as they give students the opportunity to earn plus or minus grades. But this doesn't let teachers completely off the hook. Students can complain to the Academic Affairs Office if they think the grading scale is unreasonable.
Students can file appeals. They can make a complaint. The faculty member would show to the department chair, this is what I call a plus, and the department chair might interpret it as appropriate or not.
Professor Judith Sylvester uses a 7-point grading scale while teaching her class, but says she may consider switching to a 10-point scale.
I know others use 10-point, and if we're not consistent across the department, for example, or the school, maybe I'll get pushbacks from students, and if I do, I'll consider that. I'll look at that.
Using the 7-point grading scale with the plus-minus system sets higher standards for making good grades. The chart shows that students need to make a 95 to receive an A and a 98 to make an A+. Last year, student government tried to stop the Faculty Senate from approving the plus-minus system, but failed, leaving biology majors like Trey unhappy.
In order to get in medical school, you have to have like a high GPA, so if my GPA falls, I'm making all A's, but my GPA is falling because I have an A-.
But the plus-minus system, Reeves says, should make a positive impact on the university by motivating students to make better grades.
Two forms of motivation. The opportunity that I could move up and still stay within what traditionally was a C, and the concern that I might slip down into something that's a C-.
For Tiger TV, I'm Jackie Massey.
More information about the plus-minus system can be found online at the University Registrar website.
Filling out your FAFSA might be a lot easier soon following this fall. The FAST Act created by Senator Lamar Alexander and Senator Michael Bennet aims to simplify the application. The application currently includes about 100 questions that are used to estimate a student's expected family contribution. The act hopes to decrease the application down to 2 questions. The authors hope to push the bill through Congress this fall. I hope you're not too attached to your iPhone.
What? Why?
I'll tell you why after the break. Stay tuned.
Get excited, it's that time of year again. Apple is holding a press event this Wednesday. For the past couple of years, the tech company has unveiled the next iPhone, and if the reports are true, this year we can expect the same. Rumors suggest that Apple could announce an upgrade of its iPhones and introduce a new Apple TV or maybe launch an iPad Pro. The event begins at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in San Francisco.